Hey Simply family, day 6 now of our Advent series, and I want to build on yesterday's message of this King who's in control, who we're to put our dependence on. And today's prophetic word to encourage us comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, and we're going to read a bit of a chunk of it this time, and it says this in verse 2: "The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in a land of deep darkness, on them has light shone. You have multiplied the nation. You have increased its joy. They rejoice before you as with joy at the harvest, as they are glad when they divide the spoil. For the yoke of his burden and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, you have broken as on the day of Midian. For every boot of the tramping, warrior in battle, tumult, and every garment rolled in blood will be burned as fuel for the fire. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and of peace there will be no end. On the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it, to uphold it with justice and with righteousness, from this day forth and forevermore. The zeal, the passion, the fervency of the Lord of hosts will do this." Now this is packed full of some amazing things, and I won't be able to do it fully justice in the next 2-3 minutes that we've got. So I'd encourage you to read it. Allow the Spirit to inspire you. But we see like this picture. People walk in darkness. That's what we've been saying. Sin has brought this darkness. Yet there is a great light. This great light is going to shine out across this land. It goes on to say that he will multiply the nations with joy, that he will increase your joy, that he will increase the harvest of your joy, that something amazing is going to happen, that even though darkness and brokenness is on this earth, new joy is going to spring forth, that the yoke of this burden, so the burdens that people carry, is going to be upon his shoulders, not upon ours. I mean, this is something that we really need to grasp. So often we can be heavy and laid down and weighed down with things, and we carry all this stuff, and God is saying to us, and maybe saying to you today, you don't have to carry it. He's the one that carries burdens. Come to him. Jesus even said, if you're weary or heavy laden, let that burden rest upon his shoulders. Take it upon him, on yourself, his teaching instead, which is light and brings freedom. And it talks about, destroying the enemies around. Why? Because a child is born. Clearly talking about the coming of Jesus. Clearly reminding us that the one who is coming, who crushes Satan's head, where the scepter is not going to depart from his hand, this one is going to come. This child which is going to carry a new kind of government upon his shoulders. And look at what he says about him. Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God. He's the one who comes, brings us hope. He counsels us. He draws alongside us. He defines us and gives us identity, hope, and meaning. Not the things we do or the things that people say or don't say, but he does. He is the mighty God. There's no one stronger than him. He's everlasting, eternal. That means he doesn't run out. It doesn't just come to an end or fizzle out, but he's eternally the God who is mighty and with us, and so wonderfully draws alongside us and counsels us. He is the Father, the Prince of Peace. Man, do we not need that at the moment? To believe in a true Father, not kind of the fathers that make mistakes around us, but the Father that is good and just and right, and that brings us this incredible peace, a peace that passes our understanding. And in the midst, as I was saying at the last clip, that there's so much stuff for us to be fearful for, but when Jesus is the center place of our heart, there is no place for fear, only the peace, because we know he's in control. We can trust in him, rely on him. I love this bit of the increase of his government and of peace. That peace, there will be no end. Can you believe that? I mean, that's just a phenomenal statement. And there's not a lot said about our government that's good at the moment. There's only bad things. They're either doing underhand things or wrong things or saying one thing or doing another. And governments seem to be coming and going. You know, like the weather, it's just crazy at the moment. Yeah, but God's government will never end. And what I love about it, it says the increase will never end. That means the reign and the rule of this peace and of life and of fullness in the midst of the chaos will never end. It will grow, it will grow, it will grow. There will be an eternal nature to the peace that will go on through this life and even into the next. He's not a government that only lasts a week or two, as which we've seen recently, and changes, but he's one that will be there. He's a sure foundation. He's not just a fleeting, one-time wonder, but he is an eternal, steadfast God. This is a message we need to hear. It's a message not for us just to hear in our ears, but to know in our hearts. And it's a message that the world needs to hear at the moment. We have a gospel to preach of a good news of a God who is eternal, a God who is in control, a God who is all powerful, who loves, who is working in the chaos. And the world needs to know it. We can't just keep getting caught in the craziness of this world. We need to be sharing it with those around us. In the increase of his government and of peace, there will be no end. There will be no end to who he is. And on the throne of David and over his kingdom, it will establish it, uphold it with justice, righteousness, this time forth and forevermore. And I love the fact is, it's God's that's going to do it. It's his passionate love towards us, because it says it's the zeal of the Lord that will accomplish this. It's not you, it's not me, it's not our good efforts, it's not us getting it right. God will accomplish it. And you know, many of us are just going to say, okay, man, I give up. Father God, I give up now. Let me just lay my life down towards you and trust you. So the message is simple. God is in control. The message is simple, that God is a government. He has a rulership, a kingdom that will have no end. The message is simple. We have really got to get to this place where we just got to stop trying to do it ourselves and thinking we're strong or smart enough ourselves, and trust that God will bring it forth because of his passionate love towards us, and that will bring us peace.